Well, Miss Bell's Algebra 2, I'm looking at Chapter 3 review here, and I'm going to take you through a few of these, pause as needed when you're going through these for this review. And I'll do a few extra ones for you just to explain so you're not left in the dark, as it is a review so you can get ready for the test. This is not due until Monday the 22nd. The test is Tuesday the 23rd. So, first of all, it says, what is the solution of the system? Use a graph. I went ahead and graphed these. Y equals negative 5x minus 1. So I start at minus 1 because that's the y-intercept. And my slope is negative 5, so that means I go down 5 over 1. And then I go back 1 and up 5. From this point, it's down 5 over 1 to my y-intercept. So I know that's a point that I need to have on there. I have this equation too. I go to my 5 and I put a dot because that's my y-intercept. I put a point there. And my slope is just 1x, so that means it goes up 1 over 1. Well, I know my line's back here, so back here would be up 1 over 1 to this point. So this point right here is where these two lines meet. That is point negative 1, 4, and that would be our solution using graphing. Try 2, you're basically doing the same thing. Number 3, what is the solution of the system? Use substitution. You can see here I substituted in for y this value, negative 3x plus 11. I put that in for y right here. So then I use the distributive property. And I went ahead and I combined my like terms, and I got x, the variable, by itself on one side, and I got x equals 5. Now that I know x equals 5, I could put it into either one of these problems. I ended up putting it into this one, and I have that equaling y. I could have written it y equals this, but I did it backwards for some reason. Doesn't matter, you get the same answer. I multiply, and then I add, and I get negative 4. So the solution is 5, negative 4 to that system of equations. Try 4, it's going to be a lot like 5 when you are seeing what the answer, this would be a 1 solution, 2 solution, infinitely many solutions, or no solution. When I work this out, I just put the value of y in for y right here. And so I put that value in, and then I ended up just combining like terms, I have 18x minus 18x. I combine them, that leaves me with 6 equals 12. 6 does not equal 12. So this is going to be no solution. Another way to look at it is this way. Take this 3y and turn it into, this is in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b, sorry, I was in the way. Change this one into y equals mx plus b, you get y equals 6x plus 4. Notice I have the same slope. Whenever you have the same slope, this is 6x plus 2, this is 6x plus 4. They have the same slope, but they're 2 apart from each other, they're parallel. They're never going to run into each other, so there's no solution. There's no intersection going on there. Another way of looking at it. Okay, I went ahead and did 6. Well, what is the solution to the system? Use elimination. I started to do 6. You could finish it. Okay, I wasn't supposed to do all of them. I told Miss Bell I wouldn't, but I couldn't help by looking at 6. It was just sitting there, so easy. These were lined up. I ended up with 3x equals negative 9, and then I divide both sides by 3, and I get negative 3. Now go back in and plug in. I'm going to choose the bottom one. It just looks easier. Negative 3. Instead of x, let's do negative 3 plus 2y equals negative 1. And now just solve for y. And then you'll get what y equals. Okay? For number 7, I went ahead and I multiplied this whole bottom thing by 3 so that I would, this bottom equation by 3, so that I would get it like this so that I could use elimination, okay? And so in doing that, what happens is these cancel out and I get negative 7y equals negative 21, and y ends up equaling 3. So if y equals 3, what plus 3 equals negative 1? So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. These cancel out. I get x equals negative 4. So it's going to be negative 4, 3 for my solution using elimination. The next one, what is the solution of this system? I went ahead and graphed these. What I did was I took and went to the, and I'll use red on this one. I went to the y-intercept of plus 4, and the slope is up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And this is everything greater than or equal to, so I have a solid line. So greater than mean on the y's got to be greater, so it's above this line. Wherever this line is, it's going to be above it. Okay. Then I went ahead and did this one. Y is going to be below or less than. I go to my y-intercept, which is negative 1, and I'm going down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, okay? And y is less than it, so it's going to be below this line. Oh, I wanted to use green. A little different color. So the solution is this section right here, where they both overlap. Any number in this area, any pair of coordinates, any point in this section would be a solution to that system. This one was pretty easy. Notice this line, it's going to be below it. This line is below it, so I noticed that it had to be y is less than or equal to in both of them. The only one with y is less than or equal to in both of them is this one. And if you look at the y-intercepts and the slopes, you'll see that C fits that answer. I went ahead and did number 10 too because it was just sitting there, you know. Remember that this is row by column. So what this is saying is going to row 2, column 3. Go to row 2, column 3 in this matrix. What number is there? It's negative 6. When they ask for the element. For number 11, how can you represent the system of equations with a matrix? Remember, you just get rid of the variables. You just lay them out like that. You're going to do this one backwards. You're going to put x's with these, put y's with these, and put your equals. So this would be negative 2x minus 9y equals 11. This would be 14x minus 2y equals 15. Easy stuff there. For number 13, going into the calculator. Let's go into the calculator. Let me go into my matrix. Okay. And you want to go into edit. So I go over to edit, I enter. And it is a 2 by 3, 2 by 3. we're good. And then I entered all of those numbers in there. The 4, negative 12, you know, and you just start entering them in. So you go there and, you know, you want 4, you press 4, enter, and puts it in there, changes them. I got them all in there though. Okay, so once you enter all of these in, let's go back to the matrix, and we want to do some math with it, right? So we're going to go down and go down to B, the reduced row echelon factoring is what we want. And it's always going to give me, for some reason it does that to me every time. I hit enter and try it, and for some reason the second time always works. Okay, got that out of my way. Go down to B again in math, and then see, that's good. And I go back to matrix, matrix. That's the one that I want. I hit enter. A is there. I hit enter again, and there's my matrix. And these two on the end, this is my X and Y, so negative 7, 4 is my answer. Remember, you don't have to draw all the ones and zeros. You're going to do the same thing this one. This one, though, is going to be a 3 by 4. So when you're setting this one up, you're going to go to edit, and you're going to go 3 by, and you're going to go over here to 4. Okay? Okay. So you're going to have 3 of them, and then 4. So you're going to change that to 5. So you're just going to press 5, enter, and so on. It's just going to go through all of them. Let me do that whole first row so you can see it. 3, enter, 2, enter, and then you have a negative 4. And you press enter, and it takes you right back down to the second row. So you have all of them in there. It would be negative 5, negative 4, negative 2, 7, 4, 2. And then you just go through the same steps, and you'll get the answer using the calculator. Write undefined for expressions that are undefined. Undefined would only be if, like, I had this one was a 2 by 2, and then this one was like a 2 by 3 or a 3 by 4 or something like that. That would be undefined. So, you know, I have a 3 by 2s, rows, columns are all the same, so they look good. So I'm just going to subtract this matrix by this matrix. So 2 minus a negative 3 is a positive 5. A negative 6 minus a negative 6 gives me 0, because that's negative 6 plus 6. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. And 3 minus a negative 6, so 3 plus 6 is 9. Try 16. 17, I'm multiplying. Negative 5 times a negative 4 is 20, and so on. You could see all of those worked out there. The only one that ends up being negative is this one, because I have a negative times a positive gives me a negative. Okay, hopefully this all helped, and good luck with the rest.